You might be wondering whether Hindi replaced English overnight as the union language, or how states and courts actually use different languages for official work. By the end of this video, you will be completely clear about Part 17 of the Constitution, the roles of Hindi and English, and the practical rules that matter for UPSC questions. Let's start simply. Part 17, covering Articles 343 to 351, groups rules under 4 heads: language of the Union, regional languages, language of the judiciary and texts of laws, and special directives. Think of the system as a three-way balance. The Constitution sets ideals, Parliament makes practical laws, and administrative bodies manage day-to-day use. First, the language of the Union. Article 343 names Hindi in Devanagari script as the official language of the Union, and it also sets the numeral form as the international form of Indian numerals. When the Constitution began, English was allowed for all Union purposes for 15 years from 26 January 1950. So, 1965 was supposed to be the big handover date. But instead of a sudden switch, Parliament kept control, authorizing continued use of English where needed. So the practical arrangement depends on laws, not just the Constitution. For example, the Official Languages Act of 1963 and its 1967 amendment provided that English would continue for many official purposes and removed strict time limits for certain cases. The Constitution also provides for a presidential commission to recommend progressive use of Hindi and a parliamentary committee to examine those recommendations and advise further action. Now shift to regional languages. Each state legislature can choose one or more official languages used in that state, and they are not limited to languages in the 8th schedule. Until a state adopts its official language, English continues for that state's official purposes, making English a practical interim link. Official communication between the Union and states and between states normally uses English unless parties agree otherwise, though 2 or more states can choose Hindi for interstate communication. There are protections too. If a significant population in a state demands official recognition of a language, the president can direct its recognition to protect minority linguistic interests. Courts and laws bring another layer. The Supreme Court and High Courts use English in proceedings unless Parliament provides otherwise, and authoritative texts of legislation are generally published in English. But the governor, with the president's consent, may allow use of Hindi or a state language in a high court, provided an English translation is available for wider access. The Authorized Translations Act of 1973 makes translations in specified regional languages authoritative in certain cases and requires Hindi translations for bills introduced in Parliament. Special directives in the Constitution focus on protection and promotion. Individuals can submit representations in any language used in the Union or state and not be rejected for language reasons. States and local authorities must provide adequate facilities for primary education in the mother tongue for linguistic minority children, and the President appoints a special officer for linguistic minorities to monitor safeguards. The Constitution also gives the centre a duty to promote and develop Hindi, asking that Hindi be enriched from Sanskrit, Hindustani, and other scheduled languages. The 8th schedule lists languages recognized for certain purposes. It currently names 22 languages, and additions have happened through constitutional amendments over time. Institutions support implementation. The Official Language Committee of Parliament reviews how Hindi is used across central departments, reports to the President, and suggests measures to improve compliance. The committee has 30 members from both houses, examines departmental documents, training and recruitment, and its reports can lead to directions from the President for action by ministries and states. Another concept UPSC students should note is the classical language status introduced in 2004, which recognizes rich ancient literary traditions and carries academic and funding benefits. Criteria for classical status include a recorded history of about 15 to 20 centuries, a body of ancient literature, originality, and a clear distinction from modern forms. Now, here is the key idea most UPSC aspirants miss. The Constitution sets principles, but statutes like the Official Languages Act and administrative mechanisms often determine how language policy actually operates. That means questions about official language policy test not only Articles 343 to 351, but also the Official Languages Act, the Authorized Translations Act, the role of commissions and committees, and precedent. For exams, remember three quick anchors. Article 343 names Hindi. The Official Languages Act governs English's continued use, and the 8th schedule and translations rules matter for statutory authority. Practically, expect prelims to test facts like the Official Languages Act or 8 schedule entries, while mains may ask for analysis of tensions between promoting Hindi and protecting linguistic diversity. A typical mains angle could be, how does the constitutional duty to promote Hindi coexist with safeguards for linguistic minorities and the continuing role of English in governance and justice? Let me recap simply. Part 17 covers union language rules, state language choices, court and legislative language practices, and protections plus promotion measures. Key takeaways. Hindi is the official language of the Union. English retains a strong practical role by law. States choose their languages, and translation provisions ensure accessibility. Also hold in mind institutional actors, the Official Language Commission, the Parliamentary Committee, the Special Officer for Linguistic Minorities, and statutes like the 1963 Act and 1973 Act. You're now equipped to answer factual prelim questions and craft balanced mains answers that link constitutional text with statutory practice and administrative arrangements. Keep revising the anchor points and practice one mains answer on the tension between language promotion and minority protection. This will boost your confidence and scores. If you found this helpful, continue your revision with EduRev, where you'll find concise notes, quizzes, and model answers tailored for UPSC language policy questions. Remember, clear conceptual maps beat rote memory in mains. And understanding the practical laws behind the Constitution makes your answers stand out. Stay curious. Focus on how law and administration operate together, and you'll convert confusion into crisp answers on exam day. Good luck, keep practicing, and join EduRev for more focused videos and resources to strengthen your UPSC preparation on language policy and beyond.